The first time I met Ozzy.
How did you even meet him?
We got the offer to do some shows with Ozzy,
and this is the Henry Rollins band.
This is Rollins band, yeah.
Rollins band.
And I said yes on behalf of my bandmates, and they were kind of lukewarm into it. We were in the middle of trying to write an album, so I said, "Okay, relearn the set. We're going down to Florida to play with Ozzy." They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Throwing my weight around and smile. We're playing with Ozzy. So I wanted to meet that guy since I was like 12. So we go to this like 20,000, like his home, or these mega places, and where you take the golf cart like 4 floors down underneath the field where the utilitarian dressing rooms are, like those showers for 80 people. And we're sitting under these fluorescent lights on the benches, and there's an apple, a can of Coke, and like a banana. That's like the backstage. We're like, wow, the big time. And the door explodes open, and in comes Ozzy with a cigar in one hand. He's like, which one of you guys is Henry Rollins, man? I said, I am. Hey, man, my name is Ozzy, man. Thank you for being on the tour. I hope you have a really good time, man. The PA is really big. It's played as loud as you want. Blow it up if you want. Have a great time. He left. And it was the whole total time, 7 seconds. It was just fantastic. And I'm like, wow, I just met Ozzy Osbourne. It was like this hurricane. And all you could smell was this tobacco, the cigar. And so I said to the guys in the band, I said, fellas, no one in this crowd wants to see us. They only want one band. And it was like Typo Negative, us, and then Ozzy. And so we played. No one threw anything at us. I was like, okay. And I went up, showered, and ran back up to the top to watch Ozzy because I'm a fan. And he's standing on stage right where if he goes to his left, he'll be walking onto the stage. And the band's out there. And he's kind of standing there. And I walk up, hey, Ozzy, how you doing? He's like, is there anyone out there? I said, it's like 25,000 people. I mean, yeah, it's packed. I said, what do you mean, is there anyone out there? He's like, I always get nervous no one's going to show up. I said, when have you ever had that problem? He said, I can't remember. I just get, I get depressed all day worrying if anyone's going to show up. And I went, wow. I said, no, I think there's a few in there. And he just went back to kind of like just standing there with his hands in front of him. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just stand here with you. He went back to like this weird statue-like state. And then Sharon Osbourne comes up, Ozzy! And he just your dentures fly out of your mouth. She just yelled at him. He went, ah! She's like, get out there! And he was just kind of spacing out and waiting for her to give him the shove. And he kind of walks out there, the switch is flicked, and he becomes like, let's go crazy! And the place went completely bananas, and they went into whatever the first song was. And I watched him a couple of nights, and it was like so much fun just watching him with that audience, because the affection, they love that guy, but he loves them too. And it was really fun. And after that first night, I flew on the family jet to the private island, the hotel they were staying at, because I was going to stay with them. And it was just like living the Osbourne lifestyle for like a few hours was trippy. I mean, it has the Ozzy logo on the side of the jet, the pilot's waiting. Good evening, Ozzy. How was your show? It was great, man. And we drank Diet Pepsis as we flew to some designer island, and he told me how they made the Paranoid album. And he told me this great story about recording Paranoid.
How long were you on the tour with him?
Like half a week.
That's it?
Yeah, just
That's
a few
all
shows.
You needed.
That was all we were offered. They probably just didn't have a band for that slot for like these shows, and they threw it out to my manager, and like we were lucky. Typo Negative was the other band on the bill.
Wow,
great band, and really great. And I don't know if they had more shows. Like the next time I saw Pete Steele, like a year later, I didn't ask him if he did more shows. I think he kind of knew them before I met them. I think he probably done maybe Ozfest or something. I think he knew them before. But I've known the Osbournes ever since. Like I see them every few years for something. And like, Sharon, Ozzy, the kids are always like super nice to me. Like they always remember my name, and they couldn't be nicer. It was like, I'm a fan mainly. I buy records, I go to shows. And it's great when people that you really admire for whatever they do, that they're actually cool.
That's actually cool.
And Ozzy and all the Sabbath guys, actually, they're all super friendly, self-effacing. They're extraordinary, actually. They're hilarious people. Always making jokes.
It's crazy how you went from, most people would have done it the other way. They would have gone spoken word. You went from this violent fucking punk rock world into this cool guy on stage telling your thoughts, with nobody punching you in the face now, Nobody
No,
lighting your balls on
Things are a
fire.
little friendlier now.
And now, because I'll never forget Aerosmith in 80, 78, they started having problems. Joe Perry left.
Yep.
Was replaced. Brad Whitmore left.
Yeah, they
was
did the Night in the
replaced,
Ruts record.
which a lot of people don't like, and I kind of like, but then they did the Knights of the Ruts tour, and it was the Ruts. I saw them open for Ted Nugent, like in 76, and they weren't really that good
And then years later, Nugent would open for
them. Can you believe that shit?
Well, who's bigger than Aerosmith? So
No, and I went to see Aerosmith at a place called the Soap Factory in Richfield, New Jersey, down from the Chan's Dragon Inn, my best Chinese restaurant in the fucking country. They just made the top 30 restaurants in NewJersey.com the best General Tao's cat you've ever had in your fucking life. You understand me? They've been there, the best egg rolls. But I went to see Aerosmith there at the Soap Factory, which is like your local, which was very sad. It was on the way out, and everybody was really bad.
well, Steve was.
Yeah, Steven was beautiful then. He was,
He was, had some challenges. I saw them. The first time I saw them was when "Walk This Way" was the single, so that would be
75,
Toys in the Attic
yeah.
tour. First arena show I ever saw. They opened with Rats in the Cellar. It's a good show. We were in the cheap seats, so we got like kind of broken sound and kind of rockets through the hockey arena. And when it finally gets to you, you don't know what song it is. So it was there's the smell of cheap arena weed and Aerosmith like 2 seconds later, the slap back. But it was cool.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.